Hey guys, it's Bianca Sophia. So this is going to be actually the second try that I'm trying to make this voice recording. It was all over the place, the first one, and my emotions and energy was really erratic and chaotic, so it was too much jumping around and I was getting a lot of stuff wrong, like out of sequence, right? So I just re-listened to it a bunch of times and then put it in order, right? So basically, what this video is going to be about is how I was abducted / kidnapped by Twin A, Michael's human prototype. I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? Say what? Yes. That's exactly what I always thought too. I was like, wait, what? But it's not like I was told this. I was shown this. I was there. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying I stayed at a hotel during the hurricane because my parents, like I mentioned in another video, they rather me stay in a very strong building during the hurricane. The hurricane ended up turning, but the kids were all excited. They weren't going to cancel, so we ended up staying in there. We had a blast. Now the dates of that were September 28th and September 29th. And that's just crazy. I unfortunately can't share why, but those, some of you will be able to figure that out, the date. There's a significance with these dates. It's very, very interesting. And I just noticed this now. Ever since I had come home from the hotel, and also, I forgot to mention that other video, the one that got 6,000 views, which is weird. Like, it was like a lot of people watched that video. Why? In that video, there was a car there that, and people might have been confused as to why. I was like, what is this? It's just a car that reminded me of Twin A, right? It was just, the coincidences there were very interesting. So there's just so many coincidences now, and I'm just, I'm seeing it all, and it's just mind-blowing to me. So ever since I came back home from that hotel, things were weird. Things were different here at my house. They were like almost like I had been cut off from my full-on communication and abilities in regards to the angels. Like Seraphim Michael, Archangel Michael, and Archangel Lucifer were being very, very quiet. Like it was uncomfortable for me. It was, I didn't understand what was going on. I was told things are about to get good, and then things did not get good. They got bad, right? The opposite of that. So I'm going to go back to 2 nights ago. I think it was 2 nights ago. I went to sleep, and as I was falling asleep, I had a vision. Some guy just showed up into my vision, into my head, and I could see him standing there, and he said a phrase he said a quote from the movie The Wizard of Oz. I cannot repeat. I don't want to say it because I don't want to accidentally trigger anyone, right? So now Michael, he was still there, right? But it was different. He was being very quiet. It was just very different. And when I questioned him, when I got that line, because immediately I'm like, what was that? Was that I'm not like being activated here, right? For something bad. And he said, no, just relax and go to sleep, right? So I'm like, okay. So I went to sleep. And I was woken up, but not really woken up. I was poked. Someone was literally poking me, you guys. I could feel someone poking me very hard with their finger. And I became aware. And I was in sleep paralysis. So I was in that middle, that part, that moment right before you astral project, where you have to get through that sleep paralysis phase. It's basically what happens is your body is making sure, or your consciousness is making sure that you're asleep so you can project out. And I was not able to stay calm. And sometimes it's like a hit or miss with me. Sometimes I can stay calm through it, and sometimes I freak out. And unfortunately, I freaked out. I could see through my closed eyes. I could see through the blanket. Like I was laying there looking at my door, but I was in paralysis, and it was dark. And I know what you're supposed to calm down, stay calm, and just with your will make it lighter. Say, turn up the lights now, right, in your head. But I forgot all of that when in this state. And I was just, I was trying to scream to wake myself up, because that's the only way I know how to get out of sleep paralysis. So when I woke up, I was like, what the hell was that? That was weird. And apparently whatever was supposed to happen that night, it didn't happen, but it happened last night instead. And maybe it was always supposed to happen like this, right? Maybe that was just like the pre-something. I don't know. But this whole thing is I don't understand it all, right? I gotta light up a cigarette for this. I'm not allowed to be talking about this, of course, so it's been hard for me to even record this. Like I'm fighting to record this. The Illuminated Naughty do not want me recording this. They do not want me making this video. They do not want me releasing this video. Slash the Nah as well, right? They work hand in hand. So last night I went to my bed and I laid down and I was about to go to sleep because I just got really, really, really tired. Just really tired. And I was like, okay, so I need to, go to sleep, I guess. And all of a sudden, you guys, remember, I had not went to sleep yet. I was fully awake, wide awake when this happened. And all of a sudden, I'm in a spaceship. And I can see everything very clearly. It was like, I'm like, whoa, I must have gotten a level up on my abilities, or that trigger, it must have that was an activation for my abilities and powers to come through even stronger, I guess. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. It's just so, it's beyond what I can comprehend, right? It's beyond the human mind, because this has to do with multidimensionality and stepping into all of that, and I don't know, you guys, it's crazy. So I'm looking out this, I know it was a spacecraft because there was a window, and at the window was stars. Like I was in outer space, And I look to my left and I'm laying down, right? And then this ship I'm laying down too. And there's a chair there, but it's it's up, one of those can go up and down, right? Like it's up on a stilt, this chair, and Archangel Michael was sitting there. And he was being very sweet, right? But there was something off. I could feel something was off. And what made me catch on was his voice. It wasn't the voice I was used to. And I could hear his voice as if he was in the room with me. Like really, it was crazy, you guys. And I was like, what is happening? I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, am I being fooled here? Because this is not the voice of Archangel Michael. And then Mikhail said, there's a trickery going on here, right? Because Mikhail's within me. And I'm like, oh great, here we go. What's going on now? Why am I in this ship with this trickster? And as soon as Mikhail said that, Michael said that, he shifted from Archangel Michael to Twin A. It's like his mask was taken off. He was not allowed to trick me anymore. It's like by the knowledge of me knowing that, I was able to see through the mask, right? But I knew it wasn't him because of his voice. It wasn't his voice. It was someone else's voice. It was Twin A's voice. And yeah, the mask came off completely. Like he shifted into Twin A, completely shifted into him. I could see him as clear as day. I could see him as if he was in my bedroom with me. It was like, I've never seen something so clear before, ever. And I was like, okay, what is going on? And I cannot get into this saga because it's personal. but maybe you guys can figure it out why he's upset. It's complicated, and like I said, I can't get into the specifics of why he's upset with me and why he's upset with himself. He is battling himself, literally, because remember, twin flames are each other, right? They are one being. So he's not only battling me, he's battling his future selves. He's battling Archangel Michael, Archangel Lucifer, the authentic organic archangels, and the authentic organic Seraphim Michael. And Michael just said, relax, just stay calm. And I'm like, what is this? And he just kept saying, stay calm, just be in the now and just go with it. So Twin A, we were talking our problems out, what was going on, the problems that he was having with me and with his higher selves. And then I don't remember what Mikhail said. And Twin A says, hey, be careful, or you might never get her back. Something like that. And I was like, Mikhail, what is he talking about? What is this? He said, relax. Everything's okay. Just talk it out. Just keep talking. So I figured, I figured like, okay, so get her back means I was taken somehow, right? I was abducted or kidnapped or... So apparently Twin A somehow abducted or kidnapped my human prototype. Or he was able to abduct or kidnap my consciousness of that human prototype, right? I don't know, you guys, I do not understand this, how it happened, but it happened. I mean, he is very powerful. I mean, think about it. He is Archangel Michael in the future, and he is Seraphim Michael in the future, so he's a very powerful being. So I'm not surprised. So apparently, this version of him came from 6 years into the future. He came back, right? He came back 6 years into the past, but he's from 6 years into the future. And I guess he was offered money to do this because he is a part of this, this illuminated Nani, I guess, right? He's on the, not the good side, right? And apparently, this makes sense, especially remember, we apparently infiltrated the dark. We had to become the dark, so we are playing roles of the dark, but some of us apparently got lost in this darkness. We forgot that we were playing a role. And he, clearly, this could have been an altar. It was like, but it was weird because it was like, he had feelings. He wasn't mean or anything. He was very sweet, actually. It's like Stockholm Syndrome, right? He wasn't mean to me or anything. And the talk was good. It was really good. It was healing, But apparently he got paid to do this, but he was also going to get paid for the delivery of me or something, okay? Because when I asked him after a while of talking, I said, why can't you just let me go? Give me back, set me free. He said, I don't know about that. You're worth a lot of money, right? I was like, oh my gosh, wow. So I just find this so interesting that, I've got Mikhail within me, right? And then there's this war going on. There's a battle out there between Twin A and Archangel Michael and Archangel Lucifer. They were like in another ship or something, or waiting to they've been trying to get me back, right? So they've been on his ass, right? So it's just so weird that how we came from the future to the past to try to help ourselves out of this mess. So it's like Seraphim Michael came, it's like he's here to warn his past self to make a different decision. Isn't that crazy, you guys? So, Mikhail wanted me to talk to him. He said, talk this out. You need to talk to him, set him right. He still clearly has to deprogram from mind control. There's a lot of interference with him. But apparently, he wasn't doing the work, right? He wasn't doing the work. Like, you know how I do the work? I do my scripting and my shielding every day. I work on my healing. I work on my traumas. I protect myself every day. I do not consent, and I state my sovereignty, all of that. Apparently, he's not doing that the way he's supposed to. So he's not collapsing those evil timelines of himself, right? This is mind-blowing. So, because he's not evolving and ascending, these other darker timelines are starting to catch up with him. Like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like, your dark side is literally going to come, mess your life up if you don't collapse those timelines. This is why it's so important that we heal. Like they say, like, oh, if you don't face your dark side's going to come out. And this is literally, right? Like, this shit is crazy. And yeah, I found out, Mikhail basically told me that I have evolved to the point I've merged with my highest self, right? But he has not. So this is where the problem comes in. He's not, and he's got to do his work. He's got to do his work, or they're going to ruin his life. And it's his own self that's not healed, that's doing this bad stuff, right? It's so mind-blowing. So I basically explained this to him. Things are the way they are because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not connecting with my higher self, right? Archangel Faith, or Archangel Sophia, whatever you want to call her. He needs to connect with her, and she'll help him heal. And then he can start to ascend, and then he'll literally shift into Archangel Michael, right? And then he'll shift, as he fully evolves, then he'll shift into Seraphim Mikhail. But he's got to do the work, and he's not. So, and this is where the problems start to come in. And apparently this stuff has to play out the way it does. This is another trippy thing. It's like certain timelines have to play out a certain way. It has to go like it did in the past. So Seraphim Mikhail becomes Seraphim Mikhail, right? I know it's wild. But it's like, this is just mind-blowing, you guys. Mind-blowing. He's got to do that work. He's got to do the work. He's got to heal. And then what will happen is these negative timelines, these evil, if you want to call it, timelines will collapse. And as you collapse those timelines, you evolve up to your next self, right? And you keep doing that until you reach your highest self, right? Until you fully merge with all your aspects. So you guys, if you don't heal, be careful, because next thing you know, you might be kidnapping your twin flame or some shit if you don't do that work. You don't collapse those timelines. Those timelines are going to get to you. I'm not trying to put fear in your minds, but it's like people need to be aware of this. This is I didn't know it was like this. So in the end, Twin A decided to let me go and set me free, right? And so there was a moment, like, after we talked and I said goodbye, I was just back in my bed again, just like, back into my normal bedroom. And I couldn't sleep after that. I was like, what is happening here? This is crazy. And Mikhail was just explaining to me everything that I'm explaining to you guys. And then it happened pretty quickly. I was on another, I don't know if it was a ship this time because I didn't see a window. I was returned somewhere, and Lucifer was there to the left of me, and Michael was to the right of me. They were both sitting in chairs, and Lucifer was like, nice to have you back. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I was like, this is crazy. And now I understand why they were so quiet these last couple of weeks. I felt like I was abandoned by them, right? But no, that's not. They were still there. They were just being quiet. They weren't wanting to give up any information while I was in the hands of the illuminated naughty, right? Now, I don't know what's going to happen to Twin A now because of this. I'm sure there's a lot of karma he's going to have to pay for this, but he can fix all of this by doing the work by collapsing these other timelines. It's so easy to do. You just read that damn thing every day and do your shielding and your sphering and put in the work, right? And then we can collapse all these negative timelines. So it's like they never happened. And then as you collapse those negative timelines, like I said, then you'll literally become your higher self. And then your highest self, right? You'll fully merge. But I just find this so interesting that this is like, it's like we're battling each other. Like it's just weird how the only people I saw, there was more people there, but I couldn't see them clearly. The ones I could see clearly were Twin A, Archangel Michael, Archangel Lucifer, and then Seraphim Michael was within me, talking to me and telling me, you know, what's what. So I just found it interesting that we're all like working together to fix the situation. And as we're fixing the situation, we're fixing our inner self, like it's healing our what, because remember, we're one being. We're one being. We're the Seraphim, which is the merged version of Faith / Sophia and Michael and Lucifer, right? So I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. If there's anything, oh yeah, I did a tarot reading, you guys, after I recorded that first voice recording. I'm going to put it in here, and it's pretty interesting, the cards that came up. So I love you guys. Here's the reading. Hey guys, so I did a, so hey guys, I was curious about all of this, right? So I pulled out my tarot cards and I used the deck that I made that has all the interesting, you know, stuff written on them. It was very interesting, very interesting. The first cards to pop out, the first card that popped out was Abducted by the Dark. I mean, wow, right? And the second card was Twin Flame Confirmation. So if you put those two cards together, it says Abducted by the Dark, Twin Flame. So by your twin flame, right? So the cards say Abducted by the Dark, Twin Flame Confirmation. And I'm like, wow, this is just, it makes me get goosebumps from head to toe, right? And then back up too, right? The next cards that came out were Telepathic Abilities, Strong AF, right? And the next card was Divine Counterpart. So I have, you know, very strong telepathic connection with my divine counterpart, which is, you know, Michael L. and all of his other aspects, his direct aspects, right? The next cards that came out were You Are Going to Be a Star, and the next card was Success. So you are going to be a star, and then success. The next cards to come out were Rags to Riches, Due to Spirituality, and the next card after that says Archangel Faith. So Rags to Riches, Due to Spirituality, and Archangel Faith. So this is going to happen to Archangel Faith, which is me, which is, you know, I mean, I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen. I'm just saying that's I am Archangel Faith's human prototype, right? And I was asking about myself, right? So it's just interesting that those cards came up. The next cards, there's three came out together, and it said Archangel Michael was the first card. The second card was Very Excited About You. And then the third card was Powerful Warlock Wizard, right? So Archangel Michael is very excited about you, and he's a very powerful warlock wizard. What a surprise, right? The next cards were You Are the Holy Grail. I'm like, oh, okay, wow. And the next card after that was Passionate New Start Incoming. So I separated them because it didn't really make sense. So I took this as two separate messages. You Are the Holy Grail, and then Passionate New Start Incoming. Or the Passionate New Start Incoming start is with the Holy Grail. Or together we are the Holy Grail, or something like that. I don't know. Next one came out sideways, so I'm decided to just read both. It said, You are going to be rich and successful, and fairy tale ending is coming. Trust in the divine. And the next card was, it came out sideways, so both it says no response and incoming messages. Oh, okay. I wonder if that's telling me not to respond to incoming messages. Very interesting. Interesting. Okay. The next card came out sideways. Both sides say feeling like a kid again, and the other says contracted to have a child. Very interesting. Oh, and the next card right after that was Inheritance Owed. So, feeling like a kid again, contracted to have a child and inheritance owed. The next card, this was crazy. I love this. The next card said, Star Soul Tribe working with you. And the next card said, free from the SSP. It says, Star Soul Tribe working with you. And the very next card, so they go together, these two cards, was free from the SSP. So my soul tribe helped free me from the SSP. Like, we worked together, right? To get freed, right? It's crazy. It's like, very interesting. The next cards were a real magician, and then success with a legal situation. So the first card says a real magician. Second card is success with a legal situation. So I'm wondering if that's Michael, you know, because the other card said, you know, powerful warlock and wizard. So here we have another wizard card popping up, says a real magician having success with a legal situation. And then the next ones were Egyptian ties, ancient bloodline. And the next card says pregnant or incoming pregnancy, right? Wow. The next two cards are watching you from far away and seeing things from a different perspective. So what these cards are saying is that someone is watching me from far away and they're seeing things from a different perspective. And that's very interesting because the conversation that me and Twin A had was me trying to talk him into seeing things from a different perspective. And I guess, you know, it worked. I mean, wow. Is this my life? Like, this is, wow. It got so much more intense. Like, I don't know, my crown chakra blew open even more, and it's like, my third eye it's like I thought I had good powers and abilities before, but this is like on a whole different level. My sight right now, how I can see so clearly and how I can hear so clearly, and, you know, I mean, this is unbelievable. This whole thing is unbelievable to me. Like, I'm overwhelmed with this. Like, it becomes more real and real every day, right? I'm in shock. And I'm really excited, that's for sure. So yeah, another thing I wanted to mention was, which I don't know why I forgot to talk about this. When I was back in the other building or craft or whatever the hell it was, when I was set free and given back to the archangels and crew, Lucy and Michael were like doing this thing where they would hold up their fingers, right, to see how clear my vision was, right? He would hold up, you know, he would just hold up, you know, 3 fingers in front of my face and say, how many fingers am I holding? 3. And then again, he would switch over. How many now? 2. How many now? 1. And it was that fast, and I could see as clear as I could see them like they were standing in my room, or I was actually on that, wherever the hell they were, right, in that ship or that building. I thought that was really interesting. And then, you know, Lucy did it for a while, and he says, well, I want to see if you can see which actual finger I'm holding up now too. They wanted to, you know, so Lucifer flicked, you know, gave me the middle finger. He's like, how many fingers? And I'm like, 1. And he's like, which finger is that? Right? I'm like, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. His middle finger. I'm like, that's your middle finger. He's like, okay. And then Michael, he was on my right side, and I was like laying down still too, which is weird. He started doing the same thing. How many fingers? 1. How many? 4, 5. And he even did 2 hands at once. He did 4 and then 5 really quick. I'm like 45. He's like, wow. He's like, this is incredible. How clear I'm seeing. How, you know, they're like impressed, or I guess, or something like that. And then he held out his ring finger, and he goes, how many fingers? And I said, 1. He's like, what finger is that? And it was his ring finger, and there was a wedding band on his finger. I was like, oh, like that's a nice wedding band you got there. He's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And I was like, he's like, you know, he's like, waiting for me to say something about it, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, you're married, right? He's like, yes. I'm like, who's your wife? And he's like, really? He's like, you're my wife. I was like, oh my God. It's just, this is just too much, you know? And I'm like, this is just, like, what is going on? What is this? This is crazy, right? So, yeah, I don't know, you guys. It's so fucking, this whole thing is just, it's like my brain cannot understand it. It's too much. It's, and I still want to know, I want to know more about the Archangel's involvement in SSP now. Like, I want to know everything, right? And of course, they're like, we're not allowed to tell you. He's like, this is one of the big things is you're supposed to be figuring this out on your own. Just like you're here right now. You don't, you know, if you're able to do what you're doing now, imagine what you're going to do soon, like, you know, in this coming weeks. Because apparently also I was told that Sophia didn't let me, she closed off my abilities and powers, okay? I know. She's like, she didn't let me become into my full power because she knew what was going to happen. Well, you know, she knew what was coming, and she knew that I couldn't be in full power when this abduction took place. Don't ask me why. Maybe because they could have used me as a weapon or something. You know what I mean? So she like put a block on a lot of things actually. So because she saw this coming, but Sophia did not tell anyone. No one knew this was going to happen. Not even Michael Lau, right? So he was pretty bummed when all this went down. It's really weird, but like right away he knew. Like right after it happened, he knew. It says it answered a lot of questions for him because he was also a little confused. Because we're all going through this together. Like, I don't know, you guys. It's just weird. All this is like, it's weird. So anyway, so now that I'm back, you know, wherever the fuck I am now, with the archangels, the super soldier archangels, that crew, my powers and abilities are gonna come in a lot stronger now. Because like Sophia said, she wasn't about to let me go to my full power and then be abducted by the dark, right? It makes sense. So now, like, she said, you know, hold on, because it's going to get a lot crazier. And she said, and now you'll start to be able to figure out and answer more questions why I wasn't given a lot of information, why I wasn't given the answers, because she saw what was coming. So it's very interesting, very interesting. What else is there to say? Oh yeah, listen to this. So today, this is the next day again now, because I haven't released this video yet. It's been, what is today? Let me see the date. It's October 23rd now. So this is really interesting, you guys. This morning, I was in meditation. I was doing my scripting and my shielding and my sphering. And all of a sudden, Twin A is like there. He's like, reading, it's like he's reading it with me, like we're reading it together. Yeah, I could hear his voice, and he was reading the script and doing the work. And I was like, what are you doing here? Like, what is this? I don't get this. Like, you know, what is happening here, right? And so apparently Twin A is now with the super archangels now too. Like, when he gave me back, he what is that? He waved the white flag, you know. He's like, I'm ready, I guess, to do this work or whatever, right? And they knew, I guess, I mean, it makes sense, because if they had left him on his ship, they were probably going to kill him, right? Because he gave me back. So he's now with the archangels now too. And I have a feeling this is a lot more complicated, because I could have swore he was with us before. So remember, there's all these other timelines that are running side by side too. So it's just, this shit is crazy. And so when I was like, okay, so he is with the good guys now, right? Whatever. Because he has to heal, right? Not because he is. It's just me. It's got to be weird working with yourself, you know, like working with your higher self, literally working with them in the same room. That's fucking weird. I don't know. That's just weird. Because he was on this ship or this building or this floor with Archangel Michael, Archangel Lucifer, but he was Twin A was there too now. So I was like, this is wild. And I was like, okay, so why am I working with him? I thought I told him to connect to my higher self. And listen, it gets really good. So I'm like, why is he working with me if I told him to call in my highest self and work with her? And he goes, Twin A goes, you said it yourself. You are your higher self now. You've merged with your highest self. So this kind of makes sense. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, okay. I kind of get it, kind of, but like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, apparently I'm going to be like, jumping back and forth in these timelines. There's like so many timelines now that I'm getting lost, like, cause I'm on that other 20 and back, but I don't know if this thing has anything to do with that 20 and back, or there's more stuff that I can't say it yet. I don't think I'm allowed to say it yet. But I saw some visions of this. I was curious about what happened during the 2 weeks I was under their, whatever that. Sorry guys, I'm a little, my energy is through the roof. I want to know what happened during those 2 weeks that I was taken. Because I know there was some stuff that happened. Right? And I was attacked a lot during those 2 weeks. But I was also healed. Like, there was a lot of, the angels made sure to keep me doing my healing work, even though I'm in that place. So I was here on this time space, but I was also up in that spaceship, under, abducted by them. But I was still able to heal through with Michael L here in this time space. It was a little bit different because because like I was there and I wasn't here. And the archangels and Seraphim Michael, they were not so out in the open like they would be when I wasn't in this other side or whatever. So basically I was still healing while I was here, which, I did a lot of work too in those last 2 weeks. I remember it was really rough, but I was trying to kick ass, right, in my healing, because I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what, right? And that helped me. I don't know, you guys. It's just like there's so much that I don't understand, because it's so much that my brain is kind of like, it's like my brain is blinking a red light right now, right? Like out of service, or it's just really intense. So I mean, like, at first I was like, is this another trick? What is this? Why he's reading the script with me? But then I was like, wait a minute. He's reading the script, and then the script you're saying, you're stating your sovereignty and all that. So, I mean, that was a good sign, right? But so what I'm thinking, this video is very important that I get this video out. I don't know if that made any sense, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm fried right now. Sorry. It's very important that I get this video out, and it's important that Twin A get to work, so he doesn't lose everything, including, let me just stop there. He just needs to get to work. All right, yeah. And I send you authentic, organic, unconditional love. Twin A, I love you. It's time to come home. For real, for real. All right, guys, that's it. I love you guys. Shields up. Swords up. Let's get it.